Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure and my co-chairman to welcome you to this session, and at the same time, greetings from Oporto, my present town. I hope you enjoy Oporto. At least the weather seems to be very nice, but make the most of it before it changes. We'll be having this session on neonatal networks, and I would like just to address a few words before introducing the first guest speaker. And I'm sure you all realize that most of the things when it comes to network, there's an awful lot of involved. So I would like to thank all the Portuguese people responsible over the years for the very low birth weight register. Too many to name all of them. But as I'm sure you realize, it's almost 30 years since, to my best knowledge, the first neonatal network started in the States, followed by the Vermont, and then, since then, many other countries have really developed their own networks, and presently, most of us individually will refer to the two main bodies, the International Neonatal Collaboration and the European Neonatal Networks, firstly from the Euronet and then the Neostats. Well, as you all know, the objectives of the neonatal networks is the collection of confidential data, collaborative, and the aim is to point out the care and outcome of the high-risk neonates from the epidemiology, quality of care, but also through internal audits and the peer review analysis. Of course, in the end, there will also be questionable the financial and human resource allocation. Let me just briefly, in the 2 minutes I have, to show you what is basically our Portuguese experience. Many of you have probably heard of what is called very often the Portuguese miracle. I thought it was perhaps due to Fatima, but I think it's also due to perinatal care. And as you can see from this data, regarding the very low preterm babies, less than 32 weeks, this is our figures, and as you can see, it's quite an impressive data of nearly 2,500 babies of less than 26 weeks with a survival rate of around about 55%. This is my own hospital, which again shows a survival rate at this age group of nearly 60%, and when it comes to the bigger babies, survival is virtually the rule, and this is the same nationwide as well as individual units. But survival is not just the only aim. Of course, the important thing is that we should also talk about the quality of survival, and again, I think the data is pretty impressive when it comes to intraventricular hemorrhage, with a pretty good rate, the same for periventricular leukomalacia, and when it comes to BPD, again, very little BPD, taking into consideration that is such a large population of very tiny little babies. And this is the same, both basically nationwide as it is in my own units. And again, when it comes to ROP, the figures are quite good, very, very, very comparable between individual units and then nationwide, which means that we are probably doing quite well. And I think you will agree that neonatal networks is basically equating data with financial and human resource, and that this might be a major contribution to the overall care of the sick and high-risk new babies. We're going now to present the next speakers, and my co-chairman will present now some words, mostly regarding the social aspects of this meeting, and thank you very much for your attention.